You give her your best. She gives you her silence. Why? Here's the brutal reality most men refuse to face. The guys who bend over backwards to win a woman's heart are usually the ones she walks away from first. Her DNA doesn't care about your intentions. It scans for survival. You treat her with respect. You give her your time. You make her feel like she's the center of your world. And yet, instead of falling deeper for you, she slowly drifts away. Maybe you've experienced it before. At first, she seemed excited. She texted you back quickly. She laughed at your jokes. She made plans to see you. But as soon as you started showing her just how much she meant to you, something changed. Her replies got shorter. She stopped initiating. Suddenly, the woman who once lit up at the sight of you now treats you like an afterthought. If you act like she's the prize, she'll treat you like the fan. That's the pain almost every man faces in modern dating. The confusion of doing everything right, but still losing her interest. And here's the kicker. It's not because you weren't good enough. It's not because she found someone better. It's because you unknowingly broke a rule that women are hardwired to live by. A rule that flips the switch in her brain between attraction and indifference. Women don't love stability. They love the possibility of losing you. In this video, I'm going to pull back the curtain on that rule. I'll show you why women are drawn to men who seem unattainable, and why acting like the perfect guy actually pushes them away. If you've ever wondered why being nice doesn't get you the girl, and why the men who act like they don't care often do, stay with me until the end. Because the truth will completely change the way you see attraction. So let's start with the foundation. For thousands of years, women didn't have the luxury of choosing a partner based only on feelings. Their survival, and the survival of their children, depended on men who could provide safety, strength, and stability. Her brain is a 200,000-year-old security system running on modern hardware. That instinct hasn't disappeared. Even though we live in a world of grocery stores, apartment locks, and health insurance, her brain is still running on ancient programming. It's the same programming that once kept her alive in a dangerous, unpredictable world. Psychologists and evolutionary biologists call it hypergamy, the subconscious drive to seek a partner of higher value. When a woman feels that a man's value is equal to or below her own, something inside her attraction circuitry begins to shut down. It's not a conscious decision she makes over coffee one morning. It's her biology scanning him and quietly declaring, "This one won't do." In the past, a poor choice could mean starvation, vulnerability, or even death. Today, the stakes aren't as high, but her subconscious still reacts as if they are. That's why men who come across as needy, overly available, or desperate instantly feel less attractive. A man with no options is like a restaurant with no customers. Even if the food is good, something must be wrong. Even if they are good guys with steady jobs and kind hearts, her instincts read that behavior as weakness. And weakness is the ultimate turnoff. Here's where so many men misunderstand the game. They think women are carefully adding up salaries, muscles, and material possessions to decide who is worthy. But her perception of value is less about the resume you present and more about the way you carry yourself. Two men, same job, same looks. One gets her number, one gets ghosted. The difference? Energy. Two men can have the same job, the same income, and the same looks. Yet one is irresistible, while the other gets ghosted. Why? Because women are reading signals far below the surface. They're watching your confidence. They notice how you handle challenges. They pay attention to whether you're willing to walk away if your standards aren't met. These cues tell her if she's standing in front of a man she should reach up for, or someone who should be grateful just to have her attention. The man who needs her validates her. The man who chooses her captivates her. And this is why so many so-called nice guys end up losing the women they chase. Their intentions are good, but their execution betrays them. By making her the sun around which their world revolves, they reveal that they have no other options. To her ancient wiring, that screams danger. A man with no choices, who pours all of his energy into one person, is a man with little value. Contrast that with a man who treats her well, but never from a place of desperation. A man who could walk away if he needed to. A man who makes her feel she has to earn his attention. That man radiates higher value, and that is exactly the kind of man her instincts are wired to pursue. This leads us to something even more powerful than value alone. Human psychology runs on one undeniable truth. We crave what feels scarce. We take for granted what feels guaranteed. Certainty is the death of desire. Uncertainty is its heartbeat. This law applies everywhere, from economics to relationships. And it is especially powerful in attraction. When a woman feels absolutely certain of your affection, something changes. When she knows without a doubt that you'll always be there, always available, always reaching out first, her mind shuts down the chase. The challenge disappears, and with it, the spark of desire begins to fade. A guaranteed meal never tastes as good as one you had to hunt for. But when she feels a degree of uncertainty about where she stands with you, her thoughts become consumed by you. Questions loop in her mind. Does he like me as much as I like him? Why hasn't he texted me yet? What is he doing right now? That uncertainty is not weakness. It is the very fuel that keeps attraction alive. Imagine two men meeting a woman for the first time. The first sends a long message the very next morning. I had such a great time last night. You're amazing. I can't wait to see you again. His eagerness, though genuine, strips away the mystery. He leaves her with nothing to wonder about. Mystery is magnetic. Predictability is poison. The second man waits a couple of days. Then he casually suggests, "Coffee? Tuesday at 3. No flattery. No pleading. No desperate exclamation points. Just a calm, confident invitation. To her subconscious, the first man signals neediness. The second radiates composure and choice. One is predictable. The other is a puzzle worth solving. This effect is amplified by a principle called intermittent reinforcement. Humans, like every other animal, are wired to chase rewards that come unpredictably. Think of a slot machine. People don't get hooked because it pays out consistently. They get hooked because it pays out just enough, just unpredictably enough, to keep them pulling the lever. Your attention works the same way. If you give it out constantly and predictably, she adapts. Its value drops. But if your affection comes in waves, sometimes abundant, sometimes restrained, it becomes addictive. She never knows when or how it will appear. So she invests more mental and emotional energy trying to secure it. Scarcity creates value. Abundance creates indifference. Most men sabotage themselves by unloading all their interest at once. They drown her in compliments. They rearrange their schedules at the first hint of a date. They flood her phone with messages. What they don't see is that they've already spent their emotional currency before anything meaningful has even developed. A woman doesn't need to hear "you're incredible" 10 times a day to know how invested you are. She sees it in your eagerness. She feels it in how quickly you respond. She notices it when you put her above everything else. Once she knows she has you locked in, her motivation to keep earning your attention fades. She doesn't want affection handed to her like a free sample. She wants to earn it like a trophy. A woman doesn't want affection handed to her like a free sample at the grocery store. She wants to earn it. She wants to feel like your attention is a prize, not a default. When she isn't completely sure where she stands, her emotions push her to try harder. She wants to prove her worth. She begins chasing your validation instead of coasting on it. And it's in this very tension between desire and uncertainty that real attraction thrives. Now here's what drives that tension even deeper. One of the fastest ways to lose attraction is to become predictable. At first, everything feels electric. She hangs on your words. You share laughs. Every moment feels like a discovery. Predictability is relationship kryptonite. But slowly, many men slip into routine without realizing it. They text at the same time every day. They plan the same kinds of dates. They respond to her moods in the exact same way. What once felt exciting now becomes a pattern she can see from a mile away. Predictability feels safe. But safe doesn't create passion. Once she believes she has you completely figured out, curiosity dies. And when curiosity dies, attraction dies with it. This is why women often feel pulled toward the man labeled a bad boy. It's not because they enjoy disrespect or mistreatment. It's because the bad boy refuses to follow the script. He's not necessarily better. He's just less predictable. He doesn't always reply when she expects. He doesn't bend to every request. His moods, his choices, his decisions create unpredictability. That uncertainty keeps her guessing. It forces her to stay engaged, analyzing his actions, working harder to secure his attention. The roller coaster may frustrate her, but it also keeps her invested. The thrill of not knowing what comes next is intoxicating. What most men don't see is that her tests aren't random. The subtle challenges, the playful jabs, the moments she seems distant, these are subconscious probes. She's testing whether you're truly solid in your frame. Every test is a question. Are you the man I think you are, or are you performing? If she mentions another guy, cancels a plan, or acts cold, she isn't always trying to sabotage the relationship. She's watching your reaction. Do you collapse into jealousy? Do you chase harder? Do you beg for reassurance? Or do you stay calm, unfazed, unwilling to lose yourself just to win her back in that moment? Each reaction tells her something. It tells her whether you're a man she must look up to, or a man she can easily control. The moment she feels she has complete control over you, her attraction fades. Here's the brutal truth. The moment she feels she has complete control over you, her attraction fades. A man who becomes predictable quickly becomes replaceable. But a man who stands firm, who isn't rattled by her tests, who refuses to step out of his frame, he keeps her intrigued. That man radiates strength. And strength is never boring. The nice guy bores her with accessibility. The mysterious man captivates her with possibility. The bad boy thrives not because he mistreats women, but because he taps into female psychology. He is unpredictable. He is a challenge, and he never worships her every move. While the nice guy bores her by being completely accessible, the mysterious man keeps her attention without effort. He doesn't reveal all of his cards. He doesn't play by her rules. He plays by his own. And for a woman wired to seek strength and excitement, that man will linger in her mind long after he leaves the room. But attraction alone isn't enough. You need to understand the deeper mechanics at play. Every relationship runs on a balance of emotional energy, and whoever invests more of that energy ends up with less power. When effort's unbalanced, attraction doesn't stand a chance. Investment shows up in many ways. Who initiates contact? Who adjusts their schedule? Who seeks reassurance? Who bends further just to keep the connection alive? When one person consistently pours more into the relationship, attraction slowly fades. This is why so many men, loyal and devoted, still get blindsided when a woman pulls away. Their heavy investment, meant to strengthen the bond, actually tips the balance against them. A woman instinctively seeks a man who controls his frame, his perspective, his standards, his sense of reality. She will test him, often without realizing it, to see if he can hold that frame when challenged. When she throws attitude, acts distant, or questions his choices, she's really asking one thing: will he bend his identity just to please me? Every challenge is a frame test. Will you abandon yourself to keep me? The man who shifts instantly, who scrambles for her approval, signals weakness. The man who calmly holds his ground, who doesn't argue or over-explain, communicates strength. And strength is irresistible. This doesn't mean being stubborn or domineering. Frame control is not about shutting her down or ignoring her. It's about leading with quiet confidence, showing, through actions, that you know who you are and what you stand for. A man with strong frame doesn't panic when she pulls back. He stays centered. A man with a strong frame doesn't panic when she pulls back. He doesn't overreact when she tests him. He stays centered, as if to say, I value you, but I won't abandon myself to keep you. That stability allows her to relax into her feminine role. She knows she is with someone who cannot be easily shaken. Masculine leadership comes from this same place. A woman feels secure with a man who makes decisions, takes responsibility, and sets direction. That doesn't mean being controlling. It means having vision and certainty. When you say, "We're going here," instead of "What do you want to do?" you signal leadership. When you tell her, "We're trying that new restaurant tonight," instead of nervously asking, "What do you want to do?" you signal decisiveness. When you stand by your choices without begging for validation, you prove you can be trusted to lead. This balance, caring for her, but standing firm in yourself, is what creates lasting attraction. The man who gives more, sacrificing more, investing more, often loses more. The men who struggle most are the ones who think love alone is enough. They believe that giving more, sacrificing more, investing more will win her devotion. But love without attraction is empty. A woman may appreciate the effort, but if she feels you've surrendered your frame, her desire will vanish. The man who maintains balance, who invests but never overinvests, who loves but never loses himself, is the one she will respect, admire, and chase. And this brings us to the final truth that most men struggle to accept. There's a hard truth most men never face. Love and attraction are not the same thing. Love is what she thinks about. Attraction is what she feels about you. Love is care. Love is companionship. Love is building a life together. It's steady, nurturing, and logical. Attraction is different. Attraction is it's unpredictable, it's emotional, and often it's irrational. A woman can love you for being dependable and kind, but if she doesn't feel drawn to you on a deeper, instinctive level, that love will wither. She may stay for a while out of comfort. She may stay out of obligation, but her heart won't truly be in it. And when her attraction is gone, the relationship is already collapsing. This is why so many men feel betrayed when long-term partners suddenly check out emotionally. They think, but I gave her everything. I was loyal. I was committed. I loved her unconditionally. They gave stability but not excitement, devotion but not desire. What they don't realize is that they focused only on love while ignoring attraction. They gave stability but not excitement. They gave devotion but not the challenge that keeps desire alive. Love alone cannot sustain passion. It must be paired with attraction, the spark that makes her chase you, admire you, and fight to keep you. The men who succeed in relationships understand this balance. They don't shy away from love, but they never let love become the only foundation. They give affection, but they don't drown her in it. They commit, but they don't smother. They remain caring, yet always a little out of reach. She can never fully take them for granted. This is what keeps the fire burning. The tension between comfort and uncertainty, between devotion and independence. Stop trying to win her over by proving your love. Love without attraction is powerless. If you take one lesson from this, let it be this. Stop trying to win her over by proving your love. That strategy never works. Love without attraction is powerless. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of man who commands both. A man who treats her well, but never from desperation. A man who can be tender, but never weak. A man who loves her, but never loses himself in the process. Women don't fall in love with men who give them their heart. They fall in love with men who make them feel something they can't control. Because here's the truth. Women don't fall in love with a man simply because he gives them his heart. They fall in love with the man who makes them feel something they can't control. Desire, admiration, excitement, the fear of losing him. Be that man, and you'll never have to chase. She will chase you. Thank you for watching. If this message hit you, don't just scroll away. Subscribe, dive deeper into our content, and start building the mindset that puts you back in control. Because dating isn't about chasing women. It's about holding the frame, living with clarity, and letting attraction come to you. Drop a comment below. What's the biggest struggle you want us to break down next? Let's build a brotherhood of men who rise above confusion and reclaim their power. See you in the next video.